Please, open the door. Open the door. Sebastian? Who is it? Hello, I'm Richard Cladwell. I'm a real estate broker. I've come from the city to inspect Mr. Stone's property, but is everything all right? I saw something. Something strange. Strange. I'm Reena Lockwood. Come inside. Madam Reena noticed the stress in Richard's face. Something didn't seem right. She invited him inside. Sitting by the fireplace, where the wood kindled brightly, Mr. Richard, you look as if you have seen a ghost. What happened? You see, I work for a real estate company. Mr. Stone's property was in our company's catalog. It's been unclaimed for 15 years now. I came here thinking to inspect the property, but I didn't realize how isolated this place is, tucked in the mountains. In fact, I got lost on my way here. I set off from the city early in the morning. Took me all day to reach here and find Mr. Stone's property. When I got to Mr. Stone's house, I walked around to the backyard to check out the property. That's when I saw something. A creature, about 7 feet tall. It had ears, like a wolf or something. It came out of the woods. It began to chase me and I ran to get out of there. But when I returned to my car, I found the tire was slashed. Seeing no other way, I ran onto the road and saw your house and came here. That is indeed quite terrifying, Mr. Richard. If I were to see something like that in these dark woods, I would be no less afraid. How long have you been living here? You see, after my husband passed away, I've been living here with Sebastian and my nephew, Oliver. Oliver is a craftsman. As you can see around you, these all are handmade by him. And Sebastian helps out with the business. We've been living here for many years now, Mr. Richard. But I never saw anything like that of which you speak. Yes, it's an isolated place, but it's a nice place. And if there were any beastly creature of the sort, on our 10-acre property, we have animals, horses. I would have known. I've rarely ever seen a black bear. But there are coyotes, deers, and other small animals. Nothing outside of that, Mr. Richard. I suppose you were mistaken. You saw a large owl sitting in a tree and you supposed the entirety of it was a creature. But it was only a shadow, creating a false impression on you. No, Madam Reena, I don't think I mistook anything. How would you explain it chasing me? I'm sure it was chasing me. And who would cut my tire? Sometimes, fear can play with a man's rationale. Maybe your tire got damaged before you reached here, and you didn't realize it. The weather has been bad, and you didn't realize it. The weather has been bad and you traveled all day from the city to the mountainside. Or perhaps, while you were driving through the driveway, you drove over a stone that slashed the tire. Things like this happen out here. No, it can't be. Believe me, I know what I'm saying is difficult to believe, but I'm sure I saw something. Seeing how adamant Richard was, Madame Reena didn't argue any further. The man was exhausted and clearly needed rest. All right, Mr. Richard, it's been a long day for all of us. We must be exhausted. And it's quite late. The weather is bad. Why don't you rest a night here and tomorrow morning I'll take you to town? No, I don't want to be a burden. No, I don't want for me. I'll go now. Mr. Richard, this is a very small town. There are no transport here, and especially not at this hour. And you've seen how dark the roads are. This weather, it's not safe to travel. I insist. You stay tonight and tomorrow I'll arrange for your transportation. Thank you so much. It's no problem. Sebastian, will you please show Mr. Richard to the guest room? Richard follows Sebastian to the room in the left wing. He freshened up and sat down in the bed, trying to clear his mind, when there was a knock on the door. Dinner has been served. I'll be there. Mr. Richard, please have your dinner. Richard sat down, a little uncomfortable being alone at the table. Won't you all have dinner as well? It's quite late, Mr. Richard. Sebastian and I have had our meals, and as for Oliver, you see, he suffers from a condition. He has already gone to bed. Madame Reena served Richard some soup and bread. After having his fill, Richard called it a night and tried to sleep. But after what he had seen, his mind was restless. What did I see? This place, it's so isolated. Richard, he looks like an undertaker. Monster. And the nephew? What kind of condition does he have? It wasn't until late in the night Richard finally got some shut-eye. The next morning, he woke up to the sound of chopping wood outside. Richard got up and looked through the window. He could see a young man carving wood. That must be her nephew. Quite intrigued by the craft Oliver was creating, Richard went out to meet him. Seeing him, Oliver stood still. He looked like a decent young man, shy. Hello, you must be Oliver. Oliver shook his head. I'm a guest of Madame Reena. Looking at the craft, Richard said, You're very talented. This is beautiful. Oliver smiled, showing his work, pointing to the piece. Richard suddenly came to the realization Oliver suffered from a condition. He was unable to speak. Just then, he heard a voice. It was Madame Reena. Good morning, Mr. Richard. Morning, Madame Reena. How was the night? Very refreshing. Would you care to join me for breakfast? Of course, Following Madame Reena inside, Richard sat down at the dining table. The smell of dark roast coffee in the air was refreshing. After a quick breakfast of boiled eggs and toast, Madame Reena excused herself to get ready. "I'm going to town to run some errands. Let's go together, and I can show you around." That would be a lot of help. Sebastian got out Madame Reena's car and drove them to the town. Upon arriving, Richard noticed the town was much smaller than he'd expected. There were no stores or shops. He looked around, confused, before asking Madame Reena, "Isn't there a hotel in town?" "Unfortunately, no, Mr. Richard. Like I told you before, this is a small town. We have a bakery, a supermarket, a doctor's office, and a police station. For anything else, there is a bus which goes to the nearby city twice a day, at 7 a.m. and 3 p.m. From there, you can find a hotel or get transport to New York City. But I still haven't inspected the house. It'll take me a few days. It's a very large property. I wanted to stay here while I inspect. More importantly, I think we should go to the police first and report what I saw there." "You want to go to the police? You think they'll believe you? About something you saw in the dark? It could have been anything. I'm sure what I saw wasn't just my imagination. There's something on that property, and it's very dangerous." "All right, as you wish. Sebastian, take us to the station." After driving to the precinct, they were greeted by Officer Doyle, who recognized Madame Reena immediately. "Morning, Madame Reena. What brings you here?" "Officer Doyle, meet Mr. Richard. He is a guest of mine. Last night he traveled here from the city to inspect Mr. Theodore Stone's house. He's a broker. He says he saw something on the property and wants to report it." "Is that so? What did you see?" Richard recounted what he had witnessed, and Officer Doyle's expression changed to one of concern and surprise. "Did you really see something like this?" "Believe me, I did. I tried to explain to him that perhaps his mind was playing tricks in the darkness, but he insists there is some sort of creature." "Well, there's never been any such report here, but what you're saying does match with something. The owner of the Stone house, Mr. Theodore Stone, was found dead on his property 15 years ago. His body was in a terrible condition. Now, whether it was a robber with a sharp knife, or a wild animal, or something else entirely, we never came to a conclusion." Hearing this, Madame Reena appeared taken aback. "Officer Doyle, even as a police officer, you're being superstitious? Yes, we have bears, coyotes, and wolves, but no one has ever reported any unusual creatures." "Madame Reena, I understand what you mean, but how can a black bear injure a human being the way Mr. Theodore was found injured? And what Mr. Richard is saying does match with the idea that something like this might be hiding right out of sight. If that's true, it could be potentially very dangerous for us. I suppose there's no harm in taking precautions. So, Mr. Richard, what are your plans now? Are you returning to the city? Officer, it's important for me to inspect the stone house for a sale, or I'll lose my job. I thought I would inspect the property while I stay at a hotel and return in a week. But there are no hotels in this town. What nonsense. Why don't you stay at my house? There will be no problem. You've seen how large my house and property are. I don't want to trouble you. It's not trouble, Mr. Richard. Rather, I would enjoy it. It's not very often that I have guests or that this town has any visitors. Please, Mr. Richard, I insist. All right, if it's not any hassle for you. I really appreciate it, Madam Reena. All right then, Officer Doyle. We'll be going now. I'll see you around. But before you go, Mr. Richard, I have a request. Please inspect the property during daylight hours, and don't go there at night. And as for your car, do you have any arrangements to get it fixed? You need not worry about that, Officer Doyle. Sebastian can show Mr. Richard around. It's easy to travel by bike from my house to the stone house. My nephew often takes his bike out into the woods to collect stones and cut wood for his craft. Mr. Richard can easily travel by bike. It won't be a problem. As for his car, I'll tow it to the town garage. We'll get a tire and Mr. Richard will be all set. From the station, Sebastian, Madam Reena, and Richard drove to the small town garage, a tiny auto shop that seemed to be struggling with business. The mechanic checked Richard's car and grimaced. We don't have a tire that fits your car. We'll have to place an order for it. How long will it take for the tires to get here? A week? 10 days maybe? Richard felt his anxiety growing. He really didn't want to be a burden to Madam Reena. But now he was stuck. There was nothing he could do but wait. After reaching Madam Reena's home, she asked her nephew, Oliver, to give Richard a bicycle he could use to travel to the stone house. That afternoon, while there was still daylight, Richard decided to go back to the stone house. Inside, the air was thick with dust. The damp smell of decay lingering. The house had been abandoned for 15 years, and cobwebs clung to every corner. The furniture, paintings, and antiques were all left as if frozen in time. Richard continued his inspection. He checked the well. It was dry. The barn stood empty, with no signs of animals. He wandered the property, but aside from some deer and maybe bear scat, there was no other signs of creatures. Richard still couldn't shake the feeling that what he had seen wasn't a bear. No bear could be as big as the thing that chased him. Gathering his courage, Richard returned to the spot where he saw the creature. High up in the tree, he noticed deep scratches in the trunk. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, Richard realized he needed to head back to Madam Reena's house before it got too dark. out here in the mountains, the days were short, and once night fell, it was pitch black. Without streetlights, he needed to hurry. Next few days were spent inspecting the property. I didn't imagine it. I was right. Then why is Madame Reena denying it? Why did the police say nothing like this happened in this town? Not like this town is deserted. There are people living here. There are farms. How is it possible an attack like this never happened? Madame Reena also has animals. How is it she didn't experience something like this? What can a creature like this survive on? Later, as he made his way back to Madame Reena's house, Richard felt something wasn't quite right. The air grew colder, and the wind picked up. It was dark now. And Richard felt like someone, something, was following him.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.